All right.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Blind Guys Rock Their Life. We're here today to talk about how if you're looking to monetize your YouTube content or any content, you can do so by getting your sponsors. We're going to talk about how you have to give value to get sponsorship. We're going to talk about how you can offer platforms with the perks for your sponsors. And you also can, we're going to talk about how you build social capital and social wealth through sponsorships of various types, all in this episode of A Blind Guy,
His wife,
Their Life Live. Here for you every hump day. Bang! Bang! To Friday. That's Wednesday.
Thursday,
Friday at
11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey guys, it's a talk show. Today we're talking to you again about how you can get your sponsors, monetize your content. You don't have to have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 watch hours just to get money from your content. We can actually show you how to do that by again giving value to get sponsorship.
Now, in this episode, we are going to be highlighting our sponsors, but one main sponsor today is definitely dedicated to the life and legacy of David L. Brooks Sr., my father, one of our
ultimate sponsors.
Yes.
Best father-in-law that ever could walk this earth. David L. Brooks Sr. We're definitely going to miss him a little. He's always going to be with us, and he's always going to be one of our greatest champions. He's left a legacy through us, and you're seeing it come to life right here on Blind Guys,
His wife,
Their Life. So let's just dive right into the topics, Lakuta Marie.
All right, let's dive right into the topics. I say we start by showing you the sponsors, because here's one way to secure your sponsors. You want to thank them, show gratitude, right? So of course, you want to give value, get your sponsors, but of course, you're going to give first, but you also have to say thank you. So when you give value first, you're basically saying thank you to my future audience members, because I'm giving you the best that I've got. I've got the best equipment. I've got the best message. I've done the best research. All of those things. Anything else you want to add to value, Corey? Because we're public speakers. We have been for a very long time, over 20 years now, professionally traveling and speaking to large groups, small groups, and all of that. And thanks to David L. Brooks, he was a public speaker himself.
Yeah,
he poured those things into us for value purposes.
I call him Pop. I'm going to just give my affectionate name for him, Pop. He was definitely a public speaker, a great orator as far as being a storyteller. He did it from the pulpit as a pastor. He did it as a father. He did it as a father-in-law, a grandfather. Excellent storyteller, rival any of the griots of West African culture as far as storytelling concerned. Any of the bards from Europe, any of the MCs of today's hip-hop. This man was a true storyteller. He provided a lot of value through his wisdom. And that's what we talk about. We say give value to get sponsorship. You got to have social proof. You got to show and prove that your words are having an impact on people. And one of the best ways we found to do that was by developing a pitch reel. And this pitch reel.
Wait! I thought we had to show gratitude. We aren't going to say thank you to the sponsors before we show the pitch reel.
Yeah, we're going to say thank you to the sponsors after we show the pitch reel.
Now, keep in mind, this pitch reel is valuable.
We got to show gratitude to the person that created it, XDMC.
Hey, okay, absolutely. So, are you going to introduce it? It's on the screen. Do you introduce it, or how do we do this?
This pitch reel is produced in order for our nonprofit organization, Atumpan.
We do have so the words you see on the screen, Atumpan means the talking drums. That's been one of our Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life. Corey and I founded this. Corey founded it. I'm the wife. I followed along. And so right away, Atumpan means the talking drums. We're storytellers, public speakers, presenters. We pull other people in. And as a nonprofit, a 501c3 nonprofit, we had to have the pitch reel. We gave the value, but then we had to let other people know what they were pouring into. So
providing that social proof, because you could talk about it all day long, but they said pictures worth 1,000 words. Well, a video pitch reel is worth 1,000,000 words, especially when you have the expertise of XDMC that's going to help pull it together. So we're going to show you this pitch reel for Atumpan Entertainment, our nonprofit organization. And this is what we use when we put out feelers for proposals for sponsorship.
Okay, so I'll be quiet, and I guess we'll just let it play.
Let it play.
All right. Atumpan Entertainment,
a theater arts company founded in 1998 by Corey the Talented Blind Guy
and his wife, Laquita Marie. Working behind the scenes as production staff expands career readiness,
helping today's youth build soft skills to become tomorrow's professionals,
enhancing active listening,
interpersonal communications,
and public speaking skills. Atupon Edutainment Success Stories.
Yesterday's youths are today's professionals.
Lance is a professional comedian booked by the Laugh Factory in Hollywood.
Angelica overcame shyness to become a manager at a national restaurant chain.
Denard landed a role touring North America in Sesame Street Live.
Ira improved her school grades and attendance to become a member of the U.S. Army.
Whitney launched 2 businesses, theatrical makeup design and designer kitchenware. Awesome. I'm going to remove that from the screen. I hope you gained value from that. You tell us in the comments.
Definitely. And again, thank you to XDMC for creating that, because it provided the social proof that only, like I said, a video is worth 1,000,000 words. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000,000, because that 1-minute video allowed us to sum up all of our success stories to show that social proof.
Not all of them,
but a lot of our success stories to say, hey, this is the social proof that we're providing value, so sponsors can see, potential sponsors can see, this is something worth investing in.
You really want your sponsors to get a return on their investment. They're like, why would I do this? What's in it for me? And that should be your first goal. What's in it for your sponsors? Because of course, you give, you will receive. So of course you want to have an evergreen, well, it helps to have evergreen content. I'll say that. People will sponsor you if you have trendy content, if you have content that's going, like, popular stories, things that are going on. Some people like to do reactions to those. For us, we focus on health, business, and wealth. That's evergreen content. People are always concerned about those things, and people are always looking to improve themselves in those ways. That's what we're all about. So that's what our platform is all about, which means any sponsor that comes to this platform, they know that, okay, great. This is going to be productive, progressive, in all the way. There are so many pros, I can't go wrong. So when we talk about David Oakbrook, my dad, he recently passed away. We mentioned that. Those are the types of things he knew that he was getting involved in when he said, okay, well, let me invest, not just because it's my daughter and my son-in-law, but we did provide that social proof.
Right, because for those of you that, I know there are people might be watching that know Pop. For those of you that don't, Pop didn't fool with anything that wasn't worth fooling with. He would let you know, because I know he came to one production that we were part of, but that we didn't write or produce. And at the end of it,
because Corey writes, Corey's a writer. He does a lot of copying.
And so when the queen was saying, "Hey, how'd you like the show?" He said, "Corey didn't write this one, did he?"
Yeah, he just be straight up in a respectftive way, but he just be straight up.
But he definitely invested a lot into us. He's definitely the type of person that he was all in with his type of sponsorship. And his sponsorship came in different forms. He definitely was an in-kind sponsor, because our first play that we produced, the one I wrote, Roots of the Withered Tree.
Yes, in-kind sponsorship is one way. Don't discount in-kind sponsorship. That means favors, things that people offer to you, provide for you, garage space.
Right, they provided their garage space to house our set until we actually delivered. He drove the U-Haul truck to bring the set to the theater. He drove the U-Haul truck back from the theater, unloaded everything back into the garage until we were ready to put it into a storage space.
And in kind, he did all of this. As far as, when we say in kind, that means donated services. That means the things that people do because they believe in you, they're helping you. Now, just to give you an idea of the monetary value of in-kind sponsorship.
Let's talk about the storage.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. My dad's garage was free. We paid about $2,400 a year for the storage. It was over that, but it was closer to $3,000, but it was between $2,400 and $3,000, right? That we would pay per year for storage to house our set pieces and things like that. Another theater company that we know, they were paying $1,600 a month to house there because they were a larger theater, right? And the price can be astronomical, the cost, I should say. And so, of course, when you have that in-kind sort of sponsorship, someone that is allowing you to house things, someone that's helping you, like a driver. You said he drove the truck. Well, my dad had a CDL. He was a professional driver. Boom, in-kind services. You can't discount that. So definitely acknowledge your sponsor. Speaking of which, if you notice, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, blindguykiswife.com, and a lot of our sponsors.
So a lot of the sponsors you see are a mixture of in-kind, what financial sponsors, and
They're all
sponsors
financial, but they also added in-kind sponsorship as well.
and promotional support as well. So let's take a moment right now to give value, to get value. Part of giving value is to make sure you show gratitude. So right now we want to take some time to show gratitude to our sponsors.
Hey, okay, let's definitely do that. That means that we're going to show you the reel of our weekly thanks. This is the way we weekly say thank you to our ultimate sponsors. I think it's actually to all of the sponsors because we have several different levels using, and we'll get into the platform that we use very soon. So I say let's go ahead and head over to our thank yous. Thank you to our sponsors. We can never say thank you enough. That's another way to get sponsors and secure sponsors. When people see that you show gratitude, they will say, oh, here's something that I can jive with. This is something that, it speaks to me. So you definitely want to give people evergreen content that they can jive with. But yes, also say thank you in whatever way you can. Okay, should I just play the reel or...
This broadcast is brought to you in part by promotional considerations paid for by the following unmuted sponsors.
Thank you for the introduction.
Supreme sponsors, David and Christine Brooks.
Thank you.
Supreme sponsor, Dr. Linda Bailey Hayden of Elizabeth City State University. Supreme sponsor, JDWR. Check out his YouTube channel. Supreme sponsor, Black Heights, advancing your career. Check out his YouTube channel. You or your company can become a sponsor. Visit blindguyhiswife.com.
All right, guys, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, even if you want to make a one-time donation, go to blindguyhiswife.com and make sure that you click the green coffee cup so she can say,
what you doing?
I can say, girl, you know what I'm doing. I'm going to do like Pop used to do when he was turning that wheel in that dump truck. I'm going to stir it like coffee.
Yes, my dad did own a dump truck. He taught other people to drive a dump truck. Several of his children had their CDL. They followed in his footsteps, realizing that, hey, let me make this money so I can sponsor some things. But anyway.
Speaking of buying us a coffee and clicking the green coffee cup, this is time for us to talk about platforms with the perks. Hey guys, if you want to get sponsors, one thing we have to do is have a platform for them to actually to go in and make their donations and make it easy and as simple as possible. And you got to have some perks to go along with. What's the point of them doing? What are they going to get from this outside of just a shout out and a pat on the back? There's got to be something that's got to get that extra to make them really want to give their dollars.
Now, I do have on the screen right here our Buy Me a Coffee platform. It looks like a full-fledged website because that's exactly what it is. Now, you want to say anything else about it, Corey? I'm just scrolling along.
Now, the good thing about Buy Me a Coffee is it's themed. Buy Me a Coffee, including our both coffee advocates. So we were able to quickly say, okay, the ultimate cup of Joe. We're gonna have cappuccinos. We have a whole coffee theme.
Those are and those are the extras because the way Buy Me a Coffee is set up, it's a website. Of course, people can follow. If you start your page from our page, like clicking those 3 lines and click the word sign up, then the platform buys you a coffee, it buys us a coffee, everybody gets a coffee. And so you can just operate it like a full-fledged website. Of course, you can choose to buy us 1 coffee, 3 coffees, 5 coffees. Corey has been blind. His eyes don't work for over 25 years. So we always put in 25 coffees in that space. Leave your name, say something nice. You can see how you're supporting the production. And it does say here 100% of all proceeds go to Atupan Edutainment Incorporated. That's the nonprofit.
And that goes back to linking back to the giving value to get sponsorship, because now you've seen the pitch reel of what we've done in our success stories. Now it gives you we have a place for you to land to actually come and make those sponsorship dollars count through Buy Me a Coffee. And the great thing about this is that we also are able to offer show the different perks that come along with it. And the platform perks that come along with the Buy Me a Coffee sponsorships that we offer is the fact that you get your ads are part of evergreen content.
We mentioned that earlier, the evergreen content. Make sure that you all have content that people will want to come back for more and more. Now, if that content is gossip, people love gossip. Just make sure it's gossip that's going to stick and stay.
And make sure that your sponsors that you're reaching out to fit that gossipy theme. But if your sponsor, if your content is like us, health, business, and wealth, we align our sponsorship proposals with people that are promoting or that are celebrating or that are actually teaching health, business, and wealth. For
And we
example,
know
Black.
that people love money. So just to give you some monetary things, some monetary um, accolades and monetary, we're going to give you an idea of how much money you can make with these platforms. Buy Me a Coffee, we do use this platform. We've made over $1,600, 1,000, let's say 4 figures. That's what people like to say in figures, right? 5 figures, 6 figures, yes, 4 figures. But we showed this the other day.
6 figures if you count the dollar sign in the comma.
Boom, there you go. And that's just with the sponsorships or the extras. So remember when I showed you all, Corey, you were talking about the theme. That's where when you scroll down, we didn't show you all what we actually made just from donations. We made $1,600 just from people claiming the sponsorships. So since we're talking about sponsorships today, people can click on the extras. You can do a post that goes out to your sponsors. So this is a way to stay connected. So yes, we have our in-show ad, our in-show cappuccino ad, in-show espresso ad, Supreme Cup of Joe, Ultimate Cup of Joe, Fancy Cup of Joe, and Basic Cup of Joe. Quite affordable, from $25, $50, $75, all the way up to $200.
Now, higher level sponsors actually have an opportunity not just have their ad shown in the prime spot within the midsection of the broadcast,
of the evergreen broadcast.
Right. They also get the opportunities to become interview guests. So they get to extend how much of the story they get to share. And this is part of the discovery process. Sometimes the benefits are discovery. We have an international audience. There's always going to be people. We're gonna have people up here that never met our audience, and our audience has never met them, but they know they can benefit from the content. So that's discovery. That's one benefit of that you can offer your sponsors. Also, again, depending on your reach, you can actually say, hey, you can not only reach new audiences, but you can build business across borders by reaching these new audiences. So that's another benefit.
Now, with that benefit, that's another thing that we do on our show. We let the people watching know where folks are coming in from so that potential sponsors can know the potential of their reach, which means if we have people coming in from Alaska, from Kenya, from Namibia, from California, Texas, Michigan, and Detroit. Well, I was going to say Detroit. Belgium, yes. I was going to say Detroit. Anyway.
Detroit's not a state, Cleveland.
Lord. Y'all know I can't read, I can't remember, but I got Corey here. I'm just here to smile. So the point that I'm trying to make is that when people figure out the expanse, like what can this platform do to me? That's where, if you're going to provide a sponsorship package, put that information in there. However, that's how you have folks that are just passing by, watching, they're philanthropists. Like David L. Brooks, he was like, let me follow whatever is good. He was a God-fearing Bible believer, and he definitely said, okay, if it's good, I'm with it. If it's not, look, yeah, I'm out.
Definitely, he was out. And the cool thing about
that's how I learned to stay home from him. He wasn't with the mess. He was like, look, if it's a problem, I'm leaving. I've seen him leave quite a few situations. No, drive your own car. This is just a tip. Sidebar. Sponsors aside and everything, drive your own car. You can always leave. Escape when you can.
Speaking of driving your own car, now another way Pop poured into us is because this is before we had children and we were touring heavily as public speakers on the road. Pop took all of his experience as a CDL license carrying person, and he became our driver. He became roadie. He would help to unload equipment and reload equipment. Yeah. And one of the benefits that he got, the perks he got out of that platform of us doing live in-person presentations, was he got to experience different cities, different states. He got to experience different hotels and different restaurants.
And we're not saying that we introduced him to these things. These were conversations that we enjoyed with him, discussing, hey, I like this location. Oh, they've got this going on. There's that. Of course, the cruise, when we got married, remember how he was chilling on the cruise.
That's 5-minute story. I got to do it. We weren't planning this, but she made me do it.
Okay, 5-minute story time, you all know. Just keep in mind that platforms with a perk, whatever platform you choose, make sure it gives the perks to the sponsors. Make sure they are highlighted. Make sure they get their shine. That's the whole goal, right? You give, you get back. It should be a symbiotic relationship.
So let me tell you, okay, of course, Sweet Daddy has always been just so sweet that LaQuita just couldn't help it. And so she would have to go into hypoglycemic shock if I wasn't around. So that's low blood sugar, y'all. But with that being said, I'm a traditionalist. So when it was time for me to decide that I was going to take that very long drop off that very short cliff called marriage, I
We only
said
been married 22 years. Well, we have been together for 30, but anyways, yeah. So you took the leap
I went and talked to
or the fall.
the plunge. I went and talked to Mr. David L. Brooks, who was not my father-in-law at the time. And I said, well, Pop, I said, want to marry the queen, but I wanted to ask for her hand in marriage first. And I said, and I know you might have a lot of questions as a father of a woman who's about to marry a blind man, as far as can this man do what he needs to do to be a husband to my wife. I said, but I love her, and I'm going to do my best to do whatever it is I can to be that husband she needs me to be. And that man sat across his desk in his pastor's office, and he said,
I think they call it a study, pastor study.
office study. The desk in his office at the church. He said, well, Corey, when I look at you, he said, I don't see a blind man. He said, I see a man that loves my daughter. He said, and a man that I'd be proud to call my son. And that was a long rock to say. The cruise, we decided to get married on the cruise going to the Bahamas. She was like, my dad is not going to go for that. He wants us to get married in the church. I said, watch. So I went there and I said, Pop, I said, Lakuta and I are going to get married, but we're going to do it on a cruise ship. And we just wanted to know what you thought about that. He said, oh, okay. What day we leaving on?
Because he was the one with the adventure. He was ready for it. Yes, absolutely.
Nobody believed it. I said, he's going. I said, trust and believe he's going. And he went and had a ball, and we really enjoyed having him. He actually performed the ceremony on the cruise ship.
He did. Now, keep in mind that we did have to get married first. So we did have a church marriage, a very small church wedding where we just went to the church with a minister and we got married.
That was a legal ceremony.
Yes, for the legal purposes. And then he was able to perform the ceremony on the cruise ship. So, speaking of platforms with a purpose, that's the thing. Whenever you provide your sponsors with good experiences, they see that as your platform. They understand that, okay, whether it's buy me a coffee, whether it's the stage play, whether it's YouTube, if you're on YouTube, boom, you're on a platform. Keep your dignity, keep your value, keep your consistency, and you will have people come your way. That's the way you get it. Wow, we have gained quite a bit of, with these platforms you saw in the pitch reel, we've gained quite a bit of sponsors as far as Dr. Linda Bailey Hayden, the stage plays. Those were our introduction to her as a sponsor.
Platform. That was actually one of the parts, like we said before, with my father-in-law. Our stage plays, our public presentations became part of the reason why he was like, hey, I know the value of good public speaking as a pastor. He said, so let me invest into these young people because they're actually doing a great job bringing great messages in different ways. And so whenever we would launch a production, we would tell him, we're about to go into production for the play. He's like, okay, well, what do y'all need? And we could come up with a laundry list of stuff and he would deliver on pretty much 90% of it.
Yes.
We only had 10%. That's financial, that's in-kind, promotion. He was there, and along with my mother-in-law, he was there to actually be our sponsor because, again, we were giving value to get sponsorship from him. And that's what we are telling you guys, using this story to say, hey, if you want to get sponsorship from people, then hey, you definitely got to give the value, and that comes in the form of making sure you got a social proof that you're having an impact on the world, and also having a platform that offers some perks to the sponsors so that they know that they're getting something in return for their investment. And speaking of platforms, this one goes well with the final talking point, which is that social wealth, that social capital.
Absolutely.
And that's that YouTube community. YouTube is a platform with lots of perks because it can build your community of professionals or experts around you that can become sponsors in their own right by doing things pro bono and in kind, however you want to say it. But it's a symbiotic relationship because you're also giving them value in other ways, behind the scenes, on the scenes, however you're going to offer them their in-kind return on investment.
Absolutely.
So that's, again, going back to the pitch reel, XDMC created the pitch reel for us. We met XDMC in the YouTube streets.
Now, XDMC does have a YouTube channel. We met him in the YouTube streets. However, we have a very private relationship with each other, so we don't discuss all the business ends of things publicly. That's another key to remember with your sponsors. Only give so much information out Keep the lines of communication very clear about what information you're going to be giving about your sponsors, what information, so that way they don't think you're going to oversell them. They know that you're not going to undersell them. They know exactly what the deliverables are. So keep that in mind. So with XDMC, we have a great relationship with him, business relationship, friend relationship, and all of those good things. On the other hand, we have a beautiful relationship with another content creator as well, JBWR. You know, you watch people, they watch you, you find out that you just click, right? So when you give value, that's what happens. Now he has a YouTube channel, and then we found out that, wow, you cover so many different topics. You're not just like the fiber optics guy. You cover some of everything, the truth behind breastfeeding. He does like deep dives. I know, right? Because it's so crazy. Let me tell you, that's a good video.
I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, there was a baby formula shortage.
Yes.
So he's done all this different research. So he's like a research guy, not just a fiber optics guy keeping the cable on. And then he's also become quite a huge supporter because he realized that, hey, they're into health, business, and wealth. So am I. I love quality. They love quality. Hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Likewise, Over the Top WME. We don't talk a lot about our private experiences with her. However, she is one of our business consultants. And that's all we're going to say about our relationship. We will say that she's a marriage person. So everything on her channel is all about marriage. So everything looks salacious, and she's beautiful too. But anyways, get on over there and check it out.
And we got tech consultation with David Hunt. David Hunt has his own channel. David Hunt, check his YouTube channel out.
He's a vocalist.
He's a vocalist, a pianist, but he's also a multi-instrumentalist. Actually, he also is he's very tech savvy. So he's been he's offering consultations to us on different equipment. He's offered troubleshooting calls for us on different equipment. So again, building that social wealth, that social capital by we're providing value through our content and providing platforms for the perks, and these individuals have poured into us on a consistent and regular basis.
Yes, he's a songwriter, and those are some of the things where we don't tell everything that we're doing behind the scenes with any of these content creators because we have different sponsorships. Some of it is in kind, most of it is financial, so that we have financial contracts with them that it's outside of the realm of the public sponsorships that we offer. So keep in mind that your sponsorships can go above and beyond what you display on your packages. You might have packages that you say, okay, these are for the public. These are the ones that, okay, these folks get the private email, they get the private phone calls, the direct contact. You have those elite sponsors that service you in different ways. You service them in different ways.
Right. And again, we also...
we're winding down, so go ahead, Corey.
Also, that social wealth is about building your network to provide the logistical support that you need. Because a logistical sponsorship is just as important as financial sponsorship. So this is why we want to say thank you to our moderators, Gail at Night, Trash Can Wave, David Hunt, and
our favorite
PWJ, Philip Waldo Jr.
Absolutely.
Those are the guys, and XDFC. Those are the guys that help keep our YouTube streets from becoming an alley in the gutter. They keep our YouTube street clean.
Absolutely. So, and we have to do that because just like we told you, today is in loving memory of a special sponsor, one that continues to sponsor us even now, while he's no longer here on this earth, but he's still here in our hearts and in the way that he's conducted, oh my goodness, his whole entire life. He's really showed us, what to do, how to do it. And yes, David Lelbrook Sr., we love you. How do we get into the plant-based treat, Corey?
It's time for today's plant-based treat by Chef Love Queen Marie.
You all, we are wrapping this up, and what's happening is food. We're not like your food advisor, like the plate advisor. We just want you to eat food like fruits and vegetables, not like what are people eating these days? Well, just bread. You know how people will eat just toast and butter? That's not enough food, y'all. Add some fruits and vegetables. Put some jelly on it, some jam. Whole food, like
jam.
See, now you can get a copyright. Anyways, so make sure you definitely add fruits and vegetables to every meal. That's what we mean when we say food. Fruits and vegetables. Throw in some whole grains if you like. But definitely, we're here for you, not as your plate advisor.
We're a plate advisor. We're just not plate popo.
That's it. We're not the plate popo, plate advisors, and the fruit hoodlums. None of that. So here you are. This is a sneak peek into tomorrow's plant-based treat. Enjoy. It's something that everyone eats quite a bit all the time, this famous food.
Tasty twice baked potatoes.
I'm going to go ahead and put these potatoes into the oven. 450 degrees. These have already been washed. Slice these up, saute them in a little bit of water. Probably also air fry some tofu.
Chop 1 onion.
Onions lower blood pressure, regulate diabetes, and reduce hardening of the arteries. They're full of vitamin C for fighting colon, prostate, and lung cancers.
Peel and chop 3 cloves of garlic.
Garlic is an allium vegetable related to decreased risk of prostate cancer. It reduces high cholesterol and blood pressure.
Chop the celery.
Celery has a plant compound apigenin for anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, and antioxidant properties.
Peel and slice the carrots.
Carrots have dietary carotenoids, which are the yellow, orange, and red organic pigments in carrots and other vegetables. These have antioxidant effects to reduce the risk of cancer.
Add the chopped vegetables and a half a cup of water to the pan.
Tofu, super firm. Tofu is high in iron, protein, and calcium. It's low in cholesterol and calories, and it has isoflavones that reduce the risk of heart disease, cancer, and osteoporosis. Add it to our vinaigrette.
Air fry the tofu with smoked paprika. It's optional.
Thyme, a half teaspoon of thyme. Thyme has antibiotic properties that can fight off upper respiratory infections. Basil as well.
Add a teaspoon of basil.
My old favorites, adobo. About a tablespoon of the body oil. Go ahead and add all of the broccoli.
Cook on medium-high for 7 to 9 minutes.
I'm gonna add some corn.
Slice the potatoes open and let them cool.
Just scoop out the inside of the potato, leaving a little bit around the edges.
Mix the potato filling with the vegetables.
Add some of the air-fried tofu.
Mix everything together and stuff it back into the potato.
Potato skins look nice and crispy.
Really?
The vegetables are well seasoned. I like the tofu. Inside is chewy.
All right, guys, that does it for this episode of A Blind Guy.
His wife.
Their Life Live. We want to thank you for joining us in this moment where we talk about how you can give value to get sponsorship, how you can offer platforms with a perk for your sponsors, and how you can build social capital and social wealth. And we do this in loving memory of Pastor David L. Brooks, the Queen Marie's father, my father-in-law, of course. And to say goodbye in David L. Brooks' memory, we're going to say goodbye the way my father-in-law used to do the benediction when it's time for church to be over. You can tell the congregation, everybody stand up, raise your right hand, and say, deuces.
He did not say, you know what?